issues. Don't know if anybody is out there. Hopefully, we will have some folks joining us and begin. Anyway, welcome everybody. Frank is giving us some sounds before we officially begin. And so this is Venus meets Mars in the radiance of the sun, a healing sound bath and astrological attunement. So with that, we'll begin. So I'm Trevor Grunner and Frank DiCristina, and we'll have a little bit more introduction in a minute, but for now, what we want to do is to set sacred space. And as we're in her studio here, it's a lovely space. But what we want to do right now is to take in some deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I'm going to just spray some liquid smudge here, some sage. And then take in another deep breath. One more. And what we're going to do is acknowledge the four directions. And since part of our intention tonight is to do some deep transformation along with that healing, we're starting in the West. And so we'll acknowledge the West and invite in that vibration and the protection that comes with that and where that exists within ourselves. And then we will acknowledge the North and the vibration that is associated with that direction and the warrior spirits that from there to protect us and find that vibration within ourselves. The elders, the ancestors, the place of the North, quiet. And then we acknowledge the East, and we invite our connection to the powers of the East and the rising sun and the new. And we ask for that vibration to be available to us, the doorway to be open, and the protection to be there. And we find that vibration within ourselves, that of renewal. And to the direction of the south, where the strength of it, where the sun is the strongest in the day, and the height of the light and energy. And we ask that that vibration be available to us and that there be protection along with that vibration so that our sacred space is open and we are protected for the purposes and intentions of tonight. And let's find that vibration in ourselves where we stand strong and fully alive. And to the above, to sacred sky, Father Sky, we ask for that blessing and that opening to the celestial energies above us and to our lineage through spirit to be open and that the protection arrive and that energy within ourselves. And then we ask for the invite in the presence of Mother Earth that is holding all of us and surrounding us and holding this whole sacred space where we reside. And those energies that come from below in the lineage from those ancestors that come from that space. And let's find that space within us, that of embodiment and literally where our bodies come from and enlightened by Father Sky. So I just very quickly, the intention here was because of this profound astrological alignment. And I have made some adjustments from the original meditation ceremony that I was going to do. So there's a little bit of improv to this, but I know the direction we want to go. But because, as always, energies that are potentially very positive can also be used in a very difficult or destructive way, if you will, backward way. We can evolve with it by choice, or we can pull back. And one of the things that has happened is that some of that latter energy has entered our experience, especially here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, but really United States and all over. And so to that end, and what I had promised was that we would acknowledge the death of a young mother for no reason, through aggression and a lack of training, and we know all the reasons, I guess. I don't want to dwell on that, but to focus on her. So part of our purpose tonight is not only for our own inner transformation and how we might carry that out into the world, but to send blessings to her and to her family. For the grief that they're experiencing, and perhaps to feel that within ourselves. This shared, the grief and the shock is part of what drives the transformation. When I do grief rituals for people, grief ceremonies, I lead them through the process where we take the grief, the hurt, and we offer it to the goddess of transmutation so that it can be turned into wisdom and be brought back into a space of positive information. So at this time, many of us felt that shock, those of us in this town, and along with it, it may have stirred up some of your own grief, some of your own anger and frustration about things. And so we're going to take just a minute, first of all, to offer the container of the energy we're going to experience tonight without a positive transformation of love and compassion for this family, for the little boy that is left motherless, the friends and the spouse, and the community that feels violated. And we're going to invite in that energy of that transmuter, the energy of the dark, and allow ourselves to have those emotions. So if you're visualizing right now, envision how that feels, maybe even let it form up in your hand as an offering. And if you can feel the emotion in yourself, you can begin to allow your body to feel it, but begin to experience it as though it is draining out into the earth, where this energy exists, where it resides. And so we're just going to take a couple more minutes to get ourselves settled, centered, and grounded. And, to that end, I had planned on doing some things that help us to attune to our vagus nerve, to calm the vagus nerve. And one of those, I'm actually going to start with something quite simple. We've already done it. There is a mantra that is a very simple mantra and a breath. that is called, that's on the inhale, it's so, and then so is the Sanskrit word. But breathing in, I come back home. And breathing out, I'm not alone. Breathing in, I come back home. Breathing out, I'm not alone. So say that to yourself silently, doing the mantra with the actual breath. So breathing in, I come back home. Breathing out, I'm not alone. And so while you're there, you may begin to imagine the connections not only to each other here in the room, but those that we might be connected to outside this room. So imagine for a moment the people that you love as you open your heart. And then we're just going to deepen that grounding. I'm going to ask that you allow a grounding cord to descend from the base of your spine. Breathe it into the earth as you sit. Wherever you are, can allow it to descend down through the building and into the soils beneath you. And allow it to descend down with each breath. Notice just as there are layers within yourself, because we are down to the bedrock, and then through the crust of the earth, and to the molten layer, breathing it down through the molten layer and into the mantle. This area of such transition, full of crystals, different layers of density. Descend down all the way, just noting how it feels. And where there might be a vibration within the earth that sparks something in you. Breathing it all the way down to the second molten layer of the earth. Deep, deep within the earth, where the magneto works, that which generates the electromagnetic field that surrounds our earth. And all the way down to the core of the earth, saying hello to Mother Earth. Feeling that grounding cord from your own physical energy, but all the levels of your body, all the bodies and the layers, but your physical energy, especially as one with Mother Earth, and ask her to receive that hello. And begin to feel the gratitude for the life that we have. Bowing with a deep thank you to Mother Earth. For these beautiful life forms in which we are able to experience our consciousness and to develop our souls help the universe evolve and to find in the experiences of these life all the myriad possibilities and the pleasures of love and the transformative experiences of all the other kinds of the pains, the traumas, all those things which drive us forward, all ultimately fueled by this evolution and love. So ask now for the energy of Mother Earth to rise back up and into the chakras in your feet, and back into the root chakra, distributed through the rest of your body. Breathing. Opening now your head crown center as wide as is sufficient for the purposes of this evening. Calling down more of your own soul light. And opening to the light of Father, saying this, we are at night. The sun surrounds us with this energy and has fully charged the electromagnetic field of Mother Earth at this time. But feel that with the light of your soul coming down through the head crown, opening your third eye as wide as will serve you on this evening, and filling that space, letting your soul descend down into the throat chakra. It's all right to make some sounds as you exhale, giving all of the extra tensions from your body and bringing that soul light all the way down into your heart. Filling your heart space. And the wisdom of the heart distributing that soul light. And now the combination of Father Sky, Mother Earth, Father Sun, the Earth, throughout your being. Opening your heart field, and again, strengthen that notion of that experience of gratitude. Gratitude for being alive. Gratitude for making a commitment to yourself to be here, to be in this community, or whatever journey you have dedicated yourself to, wherever you may be experiencing this. Gratitude for others in your life. Many, many things that we can invoke to be grateful for. The food we ate, the water we drank, if we are so blessed. And so, with that gratitude, you are beginning to expand your heart field. And again, we're going to connect that heart first, the earth to our heart, to the heart of the sun, and connecting it up to the heart of the Creator. And then from that heart field, the connection to each other within this space and across the distance to whomever is tuning in now or later, sharing this heart field, the global heart of our Earth. And eventually we will expand that to the energy of the whole solar system, the sun being at the heart of it, with its energy and its magnetics and its gravity, but the whole family of planets and asteroids and comets, minor planets. All of these entities have a morpho-resonance within ourselves as human beings. A morpho-resonance energetic field. which means the experience that we have as human beings is uniquely human, but many aspects, what we call archetypes, are co-resonant. And what we're going to talk about tonight is Venus and Mars, the Sun and Jupiter. And so we'll just settle on that for a moment. And let these sounds that Frank is channeling and coaxing from the metal to begin to walk through us. We are in this deep space, a meditative space. I'm going to try to keep the instructive part of this more in the depth of this mythic realm. Now my fellow participants are deep in their meditation, so I won't conscript them for this demonstration. I'll have to fake it. I'm going to let you just rest there for a moment. So in this field of view, I'm going to invite us to imagine that this bowl that is sitting right there in front of Frank is going to be the sun. And behind it, beyond it, two of the bowls will line up, and you can just, this is maybe messing with your system, but so that bowl will be the sun for us tonight. And I actually have a model of the earth. And just beyond that, just choose two bowls that are, and so that's Venus and that's Mars. And behind me is Jupiter. So we here from the position of the Earth, as we are moving around the sun, my Earth is broken. As it is moving around the sun, and the bowls that are represented Venus and Mars, they are moving on the other side of the sun to our view. And so what I'd like you to imagine, we're using this as a demonstration, but maybe you watched the sunrise this morning. Here it was pretty cloudy, we didn't have much sun, but yesterday was bright and sunny. And yesterday is when this alignment was very strong, ironically. So behind the sun, from our point of view, lies Venus and Mars. And they are passing each other. If I'm from the perspective of the Earth, and that is the sun. And then Mars is moving in this direction, Venus in this direction, and at some point they all lock in. It all comes into one line of perspective with Jupiter behind. So these 4, 5, 6, 7 days have had that intense release of energy. And this happens in this particular way only every 32 years. So with the Venus-Mars conjunction in the radiance of the sun, and we consider that, in another way of speaking, the underworld, because they're not visible to us. They are, when we look out at the sun, we're looking at Venus and Mars too, and it's coming through the radiance of the sun, through the purity of spirit. And because of the position that it is in the sign of Capricorn, it means it's how we are structuring those. And with the radiance of the sun, it means we're breaking down that old structure, if we choose. And what is reverberating with Jupiter is that Jupiter is very bright in the night sky, super bright. If we had clear skies, you would go out, you would see it out there. And that represents our philosophy of life, our belief systems. And it also represents how we organize a society around laws that govern that, a governing philosophy. So with Venus, we should focus on what do we want to embody? What is it you want to bring in to ensoul? And what do you value such that you can receive the love and the beauty and the experiences of those elements of life, relationship and balance, and those things. So tune into that for a moment. We often associate Venus, it's very strongly feminine, which is a receptive energy. We associate it with women, but it's more than women. And it's an archetypal energy. And it has to do with what we're bringing from our spirit into form. So men as well as women can feel this and feel what it is that maybe make it very personal into what is it that you have loved or you have longed for, and what is it about how you have put together what those values are. And maybe some of them have changed. Maybe some of them need to be transformed in the radiance of the sun. So we're just going to consider that, allow yourself to tune into that, feel that. And likewise with Mars. Mars is the energy of how we project ourselves out there. It's how we form that identity, how we take what it is that we embody, that we want to ensoul, those aspects of soul that we're bringing into form, and then how we're bringing it out to the world. And it's our desire nature. It's our willingness to act. And so those things that we value and love, how are you going to protect that? How are you going to nourish that? How are you going to quicken it and feed it so it becomes a reality in your life experience? They are both. And again, we tend to associate that with men and that masculine principle, but it really means the projective, how the life flow goes in terms of creation and how we're working with that. And all of us, as men, we have an inner feminine, and as women, there's an inner masculine, and there's a balance There can be people in women's bodies who are very projective, and people in males' bodies who are very receptive. So the ideas of masculine and feminine themselves may be going through transformation. The point here is, where do we find ourselves personally in this? And that's what I want you to just take a few minutes. You know, Frank will play with it for a little bit while we do that, because I was I was going to do the demo a little bit differently, but I want you just to feel that. What do you want to embody? What is it that in your soul that longs to be in this life? And then what heroic journey will you take to bring that about? There was a synchronicity in the timing of Epiphany in Christian traditions, which literally means the revelation or the announcement to the world. But it happened because the three magi saw something, and they took that heroic journey not knowing what they would find. And that's life, isn't it? The willingness to act on what we love and value, and how we will bring that into our life. And then from there, through the radiance of the sun and reflected into the Jupiterian energy, which is growth, which is our philosophy, it is our opportunities to learn and expand and broaden our consciousness. So those are the main pieces that are being activated here, my friends. And as you allow yourself to feel that, and maybe even begin to sense the interactions between these two, if you find an inner male that wants to step forward in your mind's eye at the moment, and this can be true for men and women, and if you find an inner female that wants to step forward at this time, allow that to freely happen, and to come together, to meet each other, eye to eye, heart to heart, their chakras lining up. And as the observer, you might want to note, how are these two parts of myself, the receptive and the projective, what I value and how I go after it, how do they interact? Is there something that is an old, worn-out pattern? A structure that no longer serves, if it ever did? Allow that to light up right now. Allow spirit, the radiance of the sun, the great mystery, to come in with its spiritual fire that does not harm but burns away with illumination. Or if you choose, you can see it dissolve. Or perhaps the air comes and whisks it away, like so many dust motes in a beam of light, cleared. Or perhaps it's an immersion in water. The rain pouring or the tears coming out, washing away these old structures, these old. So So observe these two figures as they are formulated within you at this time. Need to get too hung up on how they appear, but because of our intentions, this may change even over time, not even through the course of the night. But that is our intent. That the dance that these aspects do with each other are fiery and flowing and move like the wind and are as solid as sitting under a tree. Creation itself, the creation of life. And it's all about working with the dance between these until they get so good. It's as easy as breathing in and out. Allowing the energy of these to be reflecting on the philosophy of your life, and you don't need to think about it. Only how the universe offers you opportunities to expand and grow. And it's there for you, reflecting and lighting up this activity, Venus and Mars and the Sun. And then over the course of the evening, you're going to also want to see new connections being formed. Just invite that in. Is there some new structure? Because perhaps what you valued has changed. Chasing status has now become about living in honor. Feeling important becomes embodying dignity, your birthright itself. Creating your art was maybe less about being seen and known as it is about putting your soul out there with all of its beauty. Just as a gift back for the life you have and the creation you have. Whatever it is, begin to imagine, begin to see these figures, these anima and animus, the feminine and the masculine, watching them dance, wherever they may be. Synchronized swim, or maybe they take off in flight together like two hawks. Or standing side by side like 2,000-year-old trees. Visions come. Let the old fall away and let new structures be enlightened, knowing with humble and sincere hearts that Spirit is guiding you. You don't need to know the details. And we're going to let that continue to unfold as we move deeper and deeper into the sound healing. But first, I'm going to invite in another reflection. Because even as we do this, one of the reasons it is so important at this time is reflected in the night sky to us. At night, we can see Jupiter right now. Jupiter is on the edge of a circle of stars known as the winter circle. The Lakota people, to the Dakota who used to live here, that do live here, whose homeland we are on, when they looked at that circle of stars, instead of seeing Orion the hunter, they saw a spirit animal that was like the embryo of a buffalo. And so, because of that, the circle of stars, and that is what is being mirrored to us, because it occurs, we see it at night. It is what is going on deep within ourselves, and because it is the far sky, it is the collective unconscious as well. It is that place where the new ideas form. So as we, as individuals, those few of us here in the room, or people out there, are finding new structures, new ways of being, approaching relations with tenderness as well as strength. First within ourselves, and then with others. What we are in fact doing, and why it is a profound time. We are creating what is essentially a zygote. These two components have come together in this cosmic womb. And at some point, it will grow to something new and will reverberate as it is born on and into the new earth. And so we could invite the hunter who served. He killed monsters, but he also had the hubris to believe he could kill anything. And Gaia got pissed, sent a scorpion to kill him. It's a harsh image, I know, but right now, we know that some of that same old energy. Orion served in many ways, but not with the hubris and the arrogance and domination. And the pursuit, the unrelenting pursuit of the feminine without a love connection. We can allow that to die as we imagine when we look out into the sky instead of seeing Orion, seeing the possibility of a whole new spirit animal, and we are supporting it. We are bringing the DNA of our experience, our whole soul lineage into this point where we are recreating within ourselves a new way for the projective and receptive to be together in creation. And supporting that for all of humanity, for something new to be born. So as you're doing your work within with this imagery of Venus and Mars, together with the sun, and it shines light on Jupiter, which we can see at night, we are feeding this philosophy of life for all, and we are choosing this new way of love, cooperation, creation. All the things that you feel are important. The sacredness of our connections to the non-human world as well as to each other. I'm going to allow my words now to fade and allow the sounds to pick up. So hopefully you have invited and invoked enough imagery for your imaginations to begin to work with the energies. The projective part, what heroic journey will you take in order to honor that which you want to embody and that which you value and love. Let it be blessed with the radiance of the Great Spirit. And shine light into a way of life philosophy by which we can live. I'll call them the dogmas. Breathing in and come back home. Breathing out and out alone. Just let yourself slowly come back to ordinary reality. Now the parts settle back into their new places. And we thank all of the spirits who rode with us. We give thanks for the directions opening their frequencies above and below the center. We give thanks for the presence of the metal and the crystals
And the wood,
and the wood
and the leather.
and all of these things that allows the vibration to resonate within us. Thanks everyone for joining in. And you can allow that dance to continue in your dreams as you formulate this new way of being. That you love and value and want to experience in your life and how you pursue it. What heroic journey will you take? And how will you protect and feed that? Naham Takyasan, and the Dakota way of saying to all my relations. Datanka, thank you. Namaste. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you out there. Where you
Yes.
are.
So there will be some more events, but just have to pay attention to that. This was a special pop-up, and we had to make many adjustments, but I think in the end, the sounds really carried us. Thank you. Good night.